Welcome to a brand new episode of the Michele Tafoya podcast. Hit that subscribe button wherever you are, on Apple Podcasts, Rumble, whatever, Spotify, YouTube. Just click subscribe so you never miss an episode and so that you have access to all the... Look, it's free and you have access to the entire library. All right, so I got that out of the way. Subscribe. It's Wildcard Wednesday. This is our fun day of the week where we just have fun. Sometimes we make fun of, but today... But it is one of those days where we're going to make fun of some people, but we're also going to show you some rational stuff. Today is our stupid politicians version of Wildcard Wednesday. But I'm going to start with someone smart because I want to put this into context for you. Milton Friedman, who in 1976, I know some of you weren't born, won the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences. He was an economist and statistician and created a lot of great things, Milton Friedman. Well, he tried to lay out for listeners, viewers, what the basic fundamental responsibilities of government should be. And I thought I'd open up with this so we can get sort of a framework that I think is really based in common sense and is the model idea of what government's supposed to do. So let's roll it.
Government should be limited, in my opinion, to very simple functions. Number one, to defending the country against foreign enemies. I have tried for a long time to see how to make national defense a private enterprise, and I have never succeeded. It's easy to see how to privatize schooling, but I don't know how to privatize national defense. So I'm reconciled to the fact that we're going to have to pay twice as much as we should have to pay in order to get an effective national defense. Because anything government does, on the average, there's some things that are more, some less. On the average, anything government does costs twice as much as if it were being done by private enterprise. So one function of government is to protect the country against foreign enemies, national defense. A second function of government, and one which it performs very, very badly, is to protect the individual citizen against abuse and coercion by other citizens.
Okay, those are the two. You notice in the beginning he said privatizing education would be a whole lot easier. He is really the father of school choice, Milton Friedman, so we thank him for that. All right, so yeah, you got to protect the homeland, right? And you got to protect individuals from other individuals who want to hurt them. And we see a lot of that. So apparently we're not doing that as well as we could. I think anyone who's ever been the victim of a crime would agree with that. But the defense thing, see, here's why that's so important. It affects every single person in this country. Like, if you're going to have a job, if you're going to raise a family, all of those things, you have to be safe first from people outside this country that want to hurt us. So I agree with Milton Friedman. Some of the stories that we tell on this podcast could keep you awake at night, but here's what you can do to help. It's called Sleep Cream, CREME.com. It's an all-natural CBD-based topical that you put right on your skin at bedtime. I usually put it on the insides of my forearms, maybe the bottoms of my feet, and they smell fantastic. While the lavender is my favorite, they have a new rose-scented one out that is Sleep Cream Rose. It's awesome. But here's the best part. It works. And if it doesn't work for you, just let them know and they'll give you your money back within the first 30 days. That's a guarantee. Sleep Cream, CREME.com. Use the code HOMERUN at checkout to get free standard shipping on your first order. That's the code HOMERUN at checkout for free standard shipping on your first order. If you want to sleep better, use what I use. That is Sleep Cream. Sleep, CREME.com, sleepcream.com. Let's look at how many stupid decisions we're making. When you look at that macro picture of taking care of people's safety, now let's look at stupid stuff. And I'm going to start with this. Land acknowledgments. Why are we doing these performative gestures? It's virtue signaling. Here's an example. Let's roll it.
Thank you all for joining us today in beautiful Hastings County. We are meeting today on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Huron-Wendat, the Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. Hastings County Council acknowledges our shared obligation to respect, honor, and sustain these lands and the natural resources contained within. We honor their cultures and celebrate their commitment to this land. We would also like to acknowledge the Mohawk and Algonquin nations, whose traditional and unceded territory we are gathered upon today. Hastings County is situated on treaty land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people.
Okay. So if it really matters that much to you, why are you just saying that? It's performative. It's virtue signaling. It doesn't do anything to help these people. That's one argument against them. Secondly, it just sounds dumb. Just about every inch of planet Earth has been conquered at one time or another in the Earth's history. So it's not like Americans were the only ones to do this. So it sounds nice. And does it hurt anyone? No, except that he might have missed a couple of tribes. What if he overlooked some people? Then they're going to get mad. Sometimes really ask yourself, what good does that do? So it reminds you that we're on this land that once was roamed by others. Can we talk about the Aztecs and how brutal they were to other tribes in South America? we never go there. All right, so land acknowledgments are dumb. Let's stop doing them. Don't put them in your stationery either, your email signature. And it's in academia and it's in art, museums. It's just, unless you're going to do something about it, like Ben and Jerry, if your factory's on stolen land, give it back. Here's another really stupid use of public time. Public servants give their time, they get paid. But again, with the virtue signaling, and this one just looks so silly. Roll it, Misty.
What am I late for? What did I miss?
You missed 6 days of Trans Awareness Week.
Oh my gosh!
I know, at least it's the last day.
You're trans?
I'm glad you're aware.
Well, I'm Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski.
And I'm Madison Alder, Dean Anita Martinez Rutherford.
And even though it is the last day of Trans Awareness Week, we want you to know it never ends.
And you are loved.
You are valued.
And we need you here.
So thanks for being who you are, and know that you have a team of people supporting you and fighting for you every day.
Now they're going to say, well, they're a marginalized class. We should go out of our way to, who else seems to be a marginalized class these days are veterans of war. Like they sign up to put themselves between bullets and us, and we give them Veterans Day and we give them Memorial Day. And that's about it. 2 days. I wonder if anyone can think of any others. Now, you've got Pride Month, an entire month dedicated to the LGBTQ RSTUV community, and you've got that Trans Week. But, as she said, it never ends. You're important. You're valued. Identity politics are killing us. The more we slice and dice our society into these little groups of marginalized, you can come up with any kind of marginalized group you want. People who love frogs. We don't get enough attention, people who love frogs. We really don't. And we need a week. We want to feel important. We love frogs. Environmentalists. We want people who are committed to environmentalism. We want a month. Yes, we do. We're doing important work. Brunettes who don't make as much as blondes. We would like some recognition. You see what I'm getting at. And even if you think that's outlandish or I'm stretching it, it is a slippery slope we're on when we continually have to recognize all of these different groups and tell them how important they are. Here's my advice to any individual, whether you're gay, straight, trans, black, white, Latino, whatever you are. Love yourself. Take pride in yourself. Don't allow anybody else to tell you that you're less than you are. Because if you give them permission to do that, that's on you. So don't give them permission to do that. But also, you don't need the rest of America to come fawning at you and say, oh, we're so sorry we haven't noticed you enough. No, you don't. You're a strong individual person. Rely on that. Read some Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius Meditations is where I'd start. Okay, here's another stupid one. And there is a minor connection to the last one. And this is here in the state that I live in currently, Minnesota. Well, there is a state legislator here who would like to make it mandatory, meaning companies would have to pay for this. Well, let's let them tell you.
Hey y'all, it's Lee. I'm here at the fairgrounds to talk to you about my new bill, the free water bill, which I passed at the legislature this past year. If there are more than 100 tickets sold to any event in Minnesota, those venues have to provide free water. That means bringing a water bottle or providing free sealed water or making sure that you had water that you can bring back to your seat. We all know how terrible it is to spend $5, $6, $7 on a bottle of water. This is going to be true now at Twins games and Timberwolves games and every summer festival and any event outside of a museum.
Outside of a museum? How come not a museum? Why not the museums? I get thirsty at museums. So now that means the museum gets to charge me $10 per bottle of water because they're exempt. So we used to have water fountains for this kind of thing, public water fountains. Now, maybe in the wake of COVID, people don't think those are sanitary anymore. People can provide their own waters out of their taps at home. If they're going somewhere hot, they should take... What they are saying right there is, if you go to a Twins game, which obviously sells more than 100 tickets, you are entitled to have the Twins take care of your water needs. Or the Timberwolves, because it gets really dehydrated inside of a building. Yeah, you get really... Why 100? Why not 500? Why not 1,000? Now, here's what's interesting. I took my daughter to see Harry Styles. It was an outdoor venue, and it was hot. And so the good people of the Harry Styles concert were passing around cups of water to people because people really needed it. And they had been waiting outdoors all day. Now, in this case, I don't think it was throughout the entire stadium. It was just right around the stage. People were passing waters all around. It was really great. They were taking care of each other. So Harry Styles can afford to do that. And you may say, oh, well, the Twins and the Vikings and the Timberwolves can afford to do it too. So is that why museums are exempt? Because they can't afford to hand out water to everyone? This is, again, it's socialism and communism in motion. Damn it, I want my water. And how much water per everyone that comes in? Unlimited amounts of water? What if I take a bunch of the bottled waters from the Twins game and I shove them into my purse and I take them out with me? I got water for the week at home. I mean, this is just stop telling businesses how to operate. Because as in the case of the Harry Styles concert, they're going to know what they have to do. And there are drinking fountains. Yeah. Okay, when I show you this next video, you're going to say to yourself, didn't this guy once run for president in 2012 against Barack Obama? Didn't he really have a fighting chance at the White House in 2012? I speak of Mitt Romney, who did not win. Barack Obama won his second term, and Mitt Romney went home and then ran for senator and became a senator. But just as we celebrated 7 days, a whole week of trans awareness, and that's in addition and beyond the Pride Month, okay? Every dog has its day. Roll it, Misty.
Well, as you all know, today is National Hot Dog Day, and perhaps you also know that hot dog is my favorite meat. I love hot dogs. I love them in buns. I love them outside of buns. I love them with baked beans. I just like hot dogs. It's the best meat there is, without question. So to all of you who, like me, are celebrating National Hot Dog Day, congratulations to you, and may there be many, many more hot dogs served in our wonderful land.
Okay. So as I was watching that again, I was thinking, what must be behind this is that he gets some sort of campaign donations from the National Beef Board or whatever it is. Right. And so he's doing that. Again, it's performative unless you're getting a kickback for it, which is the likely answer there. Now, on the other side of things, there's a politician I adore. It's not necessarily him I adore, it's his policies and his way of speaking. And if you notice these days, a lot of people who are recorded on video, on camera, are turned into babies. Well, John Kennedy of Louisiana, the senator who has a way with words like no other politician in America, was turned into a baby, and he said this.
Now, I'm not saying that the person who came up with this rule is the dumbest guy in the world, but that person better hope that the dumbest guy in the world doesn't die. Because this is just bone deep down to the marrow dumb.
Okay, now I love that. I love unfiltered authenticity. Don't smile at me and tell me words you think I want to hear. I think Trump has done away with that altogether. Like, I don't need you to sound really eloquent and spin off these beautiful phrases that are educated and highfalutin and elegant. I don't need that. It's fine. If that's how you want to make your point and you're making a great point, fine. But just say what you feel. Just say it. And John Kennedy always says what he's thinking. I love that about him. Apparently, the BBC has put... Now, I'm going to watch this with you, and I want you to think to yourself, is this real? Is this real? Because what this was presented to me as, it is the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, or company, whatever it is, a Black Women's Guide to Workplace Microaggressions. Now, we've talked about microaggressions here before. Again, you got to be strong enough to understand that if someone walks up to you and says, gee, you're really pretty, or gosh, you look great today, you're not in any trouble. I mean, maybe, but if you're going to read into everything that everyone says, you're not going to have a pleasant life. So here is the BBC Black Women's Guide to Workplace Microaggressions.
Happy birthday to... Take it away, Amanda!
No, I'm fine.
Oh, come on, it's Sarah's birthday. Let's hear you sing. Sing. Come on, Beyonce.
Happy birthday to you. That was so beautiful. Anyway, who wants some cake?
Yes.
It's not easy being the minority in any situation, but in the workplace, as the only Black woman, it can be a very frustrating and stressful environment.
Okay, Beyonce. Now let's get information for this cake.
I'm just in the middle of something. I'll be there in a sec. And that, my friend, is an example of a microaggression.
Okay. I don't know about you, but I've never seen anything like that. Not just that video, but anything like that in the workplace. That is so silly. And if it does happen, Amanda there could have just said, hey, F you. You sing. She doesn't have to be pushed into a situation that makes her uncomfortable. She can throw it back. That's why this whole idea of microaggression is so stupid. And she could have further said, you know what? If you're referring to me, that because I'm the only Black person here, as the one that can sing like Beyonce, why don't you and I walk down to HR together? You have agency, number one, to choose whether or not you want to be offended. That's your choice. That is your choice. If you find it frustrating, then maybe take that person aside and say, you know what? That was really frustrating and embarrassing. Could you not do that again? I really didn't like that. I didn't enjoy that. So you have agency to make the choice, and then you have agency on how you want to act on it. Stop blaming everybody. Yeah, there are stupid idiots all over the planet, folks. Dumb shits, all over the planet. Either put them in their place or ignore them. That's all. Doesn't have to be all about you. All right. I rolled this one a week or so ago, and I got to roll it for you again because it is amazing to me in this dumb political environment how this representative out of Brooklyn, New York, Yvette Clarke, referred to illegal immigration and why it was good for her. Roll it, Misty.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We have a diaspora that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about, the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes. And those members could clearly fit here.
She used the word diaspora. I'm not sure why. I don't think it was appropriately used there. That's neither here nor there. That's fine. We'll give her that. She needs more people for redistricting. That's it. I want more people so I can redistrict. It's political. Just needed you to hear it again, folks, because so many of us say, oh, that couldn't possibly be what's going on here. Well, at least in Brooklyn, it appears to be. Speaking of politics and speaking of illegal immigration, let's talk a little about Kamala Harris. I want to roll this old gem for you. This is Bill Maher. Folks, quick aside, this is why we call it Wildcard Wednesday. We bounce all over like a pinball. We go from subject to subject, place to place. Some of it ties together beautifully some days, sometimes not. So, without further ado, here is Bill Maher on Kamala Harris.
I understand why the Democrats are nervous, but Kamala still has to be shoring up the vote of the people who should be in the bag. You know what she did a couple of days ago? She went to a black barbershop in Philadelphia to get the black man vote. Wow. And because, if there's one thing black guys in barbershops love, it's when a woman stops by and monopolizes the conversation. Always a winner.
Again, dumb political move. Dumb. Kind of just, of course they're going to want to hear from me. I'm Kamala Harris. Talk about inauthentic. What an inauthentic campaign. And we've gone over that 1,000 times. But folks, when you hear people say, oh, she would have been a great choice, there's a reason people did not buy in. There was inauthenticity. There was throwing just a ton of money at it. There was the same message repeated again and again. I grew up in a middle-class home. Remember that? Okay. Finally, we're going to end with a couple of gems from two comedians. One whom I've gotten to know pretty well over the last few years, Greg Gutfeld. He got an exclusive interview. Did you guys see this? He got an exclusive interview. He spoke truth to power in his exclusive interview with the Auto Pen.
Joining us now is the individual at the center of this scandal, Auto Pen. Thanks for being with us, Auto Pen. My first question, who's telling you what to sign?
Who's telling me what to sign? Oh, the ballpoint's on this guy. No one, Greg. How did you get this show? I have broken crayons, I know, funnier than you. Oh, I hear you used to date my sister until she wanted someone bigger, so she switched to a golf pencil.
Wow. I thought maybe you were going to have some actual answers to these questions and not just insult me. Why did you pardon so many bad criminals?
I wanted to get back at people who keep treating me like some sort of lowlife, Greg. Sucking on me to quit smoking, using me to write Third Eye Blind lyrics. Rock bottom was when they had me signing Jesse Waters packages from hymns.
So, now that Biden's out of office, what are you going to be signing now?
Mostly bad checks, permission slips, forging life insurance for people about to get murdered. Just once I'd like to sign Dolly Parton's boobs. I'd probably run out of ink, though, if you know what I mean.
Well, thank you, Auto Pen, for not enlightening us on this scandal.
Welcome, Greg.
Bye-bye.
So, that was cute. They purposely made the Auto Pen really stupid and shallow. Anyway, that was the Auto Pen. There is no comedian in my mind who is superior to the late great George Carlin. This guy, he was funny as hell, but he also said some of the most insightful, brilliant, intelligent things. And in this particular clip, again, he talks about government, and I just listen and enjoy.
Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the... They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. You know something? They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your retirement money. They want it back.
Fascinating. It just kind of, that was years ago. There's a lot of truth to what he said, particularly the stuff about, especially the stuff about they don't want an enlightened voter population. They don't want citizens to really know and to be able to critically understand everything. And they just want a bunch of dumb workers. And that certainly seems to be the case. Or they want to redistrict, so they'll bring more people in. They want you to be dependent on the government for everything. And then once you are, they can give it and they can take it away. And really, America is the last best hope in this regard, and we better preserve it. So be brave, do good, have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you next time. Hey, you can keep up with the Trump administration when you subscribe to the Trump Report. It's an email that brings you daily highlights from the Oval Office right to your inbox 5 days a week. Subscribe today at SalemPodcastNetwork.com/Trump.